When it comes to optimal performance and the psychology of flow, which is my big thing I keep banging on about, I think it's always helpful to isolate and identify and share what it is when you optimize that performance, when you're at your very, very best in terms of learning accelerated, creativity goes through the roof, those kind of things. Well, we know what it is, and there's plenty of videos you can look back on and blogs you can look back on that talk about flow. I think it's also helpful to think about what it isn't. So there's 3 other F's. There's loads of F's going on. We've got the flow over here. The 3 other F's you are familiar with as well, but I think it's just worth putting them all together on at least one page, or maybe even 1 pebble or 2 pebbles. And here you've got the fight, the flight, and the freeze. And that's contrary to flow. Flow is when you're at the very, very best. Now, when you fight, that's obviously when you want to come up against something, you come up against that struggle. When you flight, it's how can I get out? How can I get away? How can I shut this down? How can we move on? And freeze, you're stuck in that moment. You haven't got a response to that. So if you think about a meeting situation where something has come up is a bit tricky and somebody is presenting perhaps a counter argument or perhaps not following the main conversation, whatever it might be, and obviously I have that in workshops quite a lot, but certainly in meetings. When I'm not in flow, then the chances are I'll go to these 3 things. What else have I got? So sometimes I'll try and counter it. Sometimes I just want to move on and hopefully someone else will cover up or it's not relevant. And sometimes it's like, wow, I haven't got an answer for that. I don't know where this is going. This has really stopped me in my tracks. Now the thing is, I make a massive commitment to bring this when I need it, particularly when I'm presenting, conferences, workshops, meetings, where I really need it most. And that's not every part of the day. That's for a shortened time in periods. The problem is when I bring this, I don't know whether I would have brought this. It's kind of which of these kind of am I bringing to the party? Because when I'm here, I don't sense the need to fight, to flight, to freeze. So it's a really tricky one. I think it's great to identify what flow is, what it can do and why it's so important. It's also worth looking at what it isn't. The challenge is we know it's worth getting in flow for whatever reason, so you can ask those bold questions, be creative, analytical, whatever it might be. And sometimes this gets just dropped down a little bit as a result of that. But it's tough to measure because when you're in this place, when you're in this zone, this is all gone, this is the pebble, it's way away. But you just don't know. You just don't know if you would have reacted rather than responded in a fight, flight or a freeze way. So 4 F's, good to think about what flow is and perhaps also think about what flow isn't. But remember, we want that higher than that, much lower. In fact, that needs to go out of the picture.